I think it's safe to say that Meri Brown has moved on. Almost precisely when I was uploading yesterday's video, where I was saying how I was disappointed in Mary's use of Instagram in light of all the chaos and conflict that was going on and the allegations that Payton had put out against her, she was posting this, an invitation to you to come to Mary's love retreat at Lizzie's Heritage Inn in Parowan, Utah.
You guys, I am here at the bed and breakfast, Lizzie's Heritage Inn, and I have some information for you about real life retreats in February. I am so excited about this one. We have so many good things planned. So it's going to be February 16th through the 19th right here at the bed and breakfast. So it's going to be about love, of course, because it's February.
Now, when I first saw that Instagram invitation to this love retreat, I was really taken aback. I was shocked. I just thought, wow, the nerve. Now, I don't know, which part of the spectrum you fall on, but it's clear Meri has way more gumption than I do and is willing to just go for it. You might even use the term steamroller. That's what I felt when I saw this. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Public discourse around Meri, in the world of Sister Wives stuff, it's intense right now, right? Mary's not responding to it. It doesn't seem like she plans to respond to it. And instead, she is going to steamroll her way towards her goal, which 9 times out of 10 seems to be making money. Now, whether or not you believe that Meri was abusive to any of the children in her family, you have to admit that every single person in that Brown family has agreed and said that Meri was difficult, that she was abrasive, straightforward, to the point, and she had a clear way that she wanted things done. And to me, it's just how I felt when I saw this. It just seemed like, I can see that now. This is the type of person who's going to move ahead, no matter what's going on, no matter what cries are being called out to them, because you got to admit what Payton said maybe tended towards narcissism. Maybe he was looking for attention. You could argue, though, that was a cry for connection or for help or something. He wanted Meri to apologize, maybe. It was a call for something. And Meri is moving forward. She doesn't have time for that, Payton. She's got money to make. So as you might know, this is not Mary's first time hosting a retreat at her bed and breakfast. Her first one was in November of 2022, so just a few months ago. And it was kind of the same setup, 4 days, 3 nights at her bed and breakfast. Although honestly, if you're at the lowest tier, and we're going to talk about the price in just a moment, if you're at the lowest tier of these tickets, then you don't actually stay at the bed and breakfast. You stay somewhere in town. And then I guess you have to travel back and forth to the bed and breakfast for these activities. Okay, so let's talk about the prices. Right now, the first level of ticket, I guess, is $4,000. Then it goes up to $5,000. And then finally $6,000 for 4 days and 3 nights with Meri in Utah. Interestingly, that is a discounted price if you compare it to the price of the tickets in November. At that point, the tickets were $4,500 up to $6,500. Yikes. One funny thing about this is that if you actually do go to Lizzie's Heritage Inn website, which is just Lizzie's Heritage Inn, Lizzie'sHeritageInn.com, you can see that the rooms go for about $300 a night, and there's a lot of availability. So if you really wanted a bed and breakfast experience in southern Utah, you could book it much cheaper and actually stay on site. I guess what you're paying for, that extra couple of $1,000, is for time with Meri. She doesn't tell us what the activities are that you would be doing with her, although we see from pictures of the last retreat that they did some kind of like sound healing thing with sound bowls and meditation and whatnot. They went on bike rides and hikes. I don't know. That's up to you. Is that worth a couple extra $1,000? Overwhelmingly, the response on social media is negative. People don't like the prices. And if you go into the Instagram comment section, a lot of people are listing out the other more exotic, far distant places that they have traveled or plan to travel for the amount of money that Meri's asking them to pay to get to Utah. But honestly, I don't think that much matters to her because Meri got the same feedback last time. And not only did she go ahead with the retreat, she went and planned a second one. So y'all can leave your comments. The only thing that's going to happen is if she sees it, she's going to delete it and or she's going to block you. That's what a lot of people are saying is happening as they leave these comments telling her that the prices are absurd. A lot of times she's deleting them and then blocking the person from seeing her page anymore. Okay, so let's start wrapping this up. If you have seen any of the other videos I've posted about current events in Meri Brown land, then maybe you can tell that I feel conflicted about Meri Brown. On one hand, I feel for her. I do believe she was raised in an oppressive cult. I feel like she was raised to believe that happiness is not something she deserved and that her challenges of sharing her husband with other women, her issues of jealousy, were a personal weakness that she had to work to overcome. On the other hand, though, I think that she took those challenges and that internal struggle she had over it, I think she took it out on the people around her who were also raised in that same cult. And she made things harder for them by being terrible to them. And so when I see Meri ask us to pay $6,000 to spend a few days with her, I mean, a part of me thinks that's ridiculous. Who's going to do that? But then I also know there are people who will. And I think it says something about Meri's belief in herself that she would ask you to pay that much money to spend time with her. And considering where she came from, if we all just are trying to find the good in the world, then there's something good about that she's willing to do it. Now, if you choose to spend your money on that, I will be curious about that. I'll have some questions for you, but Meri can ask, and whoever does it will do it. It is interesting to note that the first time Meri talked about her first retreat back in October of last year, there was an urgency about it, almost like trying to make it seem like a scarce commodity, like get this while you can. There was an application. You had to go online, and she talked about that application a lot. Not everyone who wants to buy tickets will be able to. There's only so many rooms in the bed and breakfast. And she's not doing that this time. In this conversation about the retreat, it's much more calm and she's much more relaxed, and there isn't that same urgency about that. I read that to be that she knows it's not like the thing's not going to sell out in the way maybe she hoped it would. I do think that she will continue to work at it. I think she will continue to sell this thing because that is one thing about Meri Brown. She is going to sell you something. So anyway, it's interesting just to see the different tone that she has taken for this retreat versus her first retreat. So that's enough for me, right? I got to take a break from Meri Brown for a moment. Let me know what you think. Do you see any good in this? Is this retreat just absurd to you? Let me know what you think, and we will either meet in the comments or in the next video. There's always something to talk about with these people. They got a lot going on. All right, take care. Bye.